Yeah, good morning. You're welcome to the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu, brought to you by MTN. Right. Like we publicized, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab is here. Is the essay education to the governor of Lagos State. Is it to the government or to the governor?
To the governor.
To the governor. Essay to the governor, Lagos State on education. And we're here specifically to talk about the, I don't want to call it a crisis, it's not a crisis yet, but to talk about the problems we have in electing a VC for our dear university. When I say it's because I'm a Lagosian two ways, both sides. I've been highly critical of the process because for me, I just want something that produces the Vice Chancellor. I don't believe so much in excuses. I would have loved a seamless move from the previous VC, who I must say, in my mind, performed so well. That's Professor Fagbon. Why do I say so? Why I say so is that I was along with him. I don't know why I got drafted into monitoring him. And he did quite a lot of turnaround and rebranding of the university, to the credit of everybody, to the state and to the citizens of the state. So we expected him, but Mr. Wahab will explain. Maybe there were things that were beyond their control. Also, for the record, and I've said this over and over again, for the record, even though I'm a double-barreled Lagosian, I'm not one of those who believe that the Vice Chancellor must necessarily be a Lagosian. I don't believe in such things. I just want to put that down for everybody's record. And I don't believe also that if you have somebody who's qualified who is a Lagosian, I just believe in a fair process. We are also, our ears are full of all kinds of political shenanigans, which I will discuss with Mr. Wahab. And let me start by, let me say hello to him. How are you?
I'm very fine, Uncle Jimi.
It's nice. It's nice to have you. I wish we were under better circumstances. But so, what has been the major problem with appointing a vice chancellor for our dear university?
Thank you very much, Uncle Jimi.
Yes.
We all agree that the immediate past vice chancellor, Professor Olanrewaju Adigunfagbohun, SAN, did exceedingly well.
Yeah, he did.
And he did put LASU on a global pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can deny him that. And I say it to his face, I say it behind him. One of the best things that ever happened to this university, Prof.
Good.
But you see, when it comes to the issue of succession, like everything in life, I tell people I'm Yoruba, I'm Lagosian. People come out to say, okay, I want to be this, I want to be this in life. But LASU is a creation of the law.
Exactly.
And if it's a creation of the law stipulates how this process must be guided. If that is the requirement, we must ensure that we stick to the requirements of the law. Anything outside that procedure, as stipulated by the excellent laws of LASU 2014 as amended in 2015, makes everything done a nullity. And I'll give you the facts, Uncle Jimi. In August, specifically August 11, I gave a directive after discussing with
last year,
2020. Good. There was no council then. I was the surrogate council.
There was no council
then. I was the surrogate council by law.
Okay.
So the registrar informed me is now on suspension.
Is that Louis, by the way?
No. Amuni,
okay.
Mohammed Amuni. He did inform me that by their law, they have to place the advert within the next number of days for the vacancy. I said, okay, you take steps. I am certain within the next few days, we shall inaugurate the council. However, let me see the template of what you are putting out. So when the council comes in, I can hand over to them. You can now synchronize with the council. That's the position of the law.
Yeah.
He went ahead. He did the draft. On the 20th or 22nd of August last year also, we inaugurated the council for them. We returned Professor Ninolo as the pro-chancellor, and then we gave him some very reputable Nigerians to support him. The advert is the beginning of the process. And by their law, that advert must be ratified by their governing council. But what they had afterwards was between the registrar, Mr. Amuni, and the immediate past pro-chancellor, They placed the advert without the ratification of the council. They now foist on the council afterwards, the dissolved council, a fait accompli, in the sense that you have placed the advert setting the requirements. You now brought it to council to ratify. But the council did ratify it. So we ticked the box. The next step,
the council ratified the advert.
Afterwards, it was meant to be ratified before the advert.
Oh, okay. It was meant to be ratified before it was published.
But they published it and then took it to council for ratification.
After it had been published?
Yes, sir.
Did you know at that time?
I didn't know because I can't sit in council.
Well, weren't you following the process?
Now, I will speak to that.
Okay.
Now, I have a rep by statute in council, but my rep had not resumed in council when this took place. But she briefed me afterwards, and I called.
Why had she? Sorry, I interrupted. I just want to get the point.
Yes.
Why had she not resumed?
Now, there was one or two issues. Letters that were sent out to bring a rep from the Ministry of Education were sent to two different offices. They sent to the Commissioner for Education, and they sent to my office. By law, my office superintends all tertiary, so I was to designate somebody. So we had two reps at that point. So it was a conflict. We had to resolve it internally. So all this while, they are taking steps. Now, that is okay. The governing council ratified the advert afterwards, which puts a fait accompli in place. But that's not even the issue. Uncle Jimmy, this advert makes stipulations. Oh, you must be 10 years professorial. Mm-hmm. That's the key part of it. You must have this requirement. You must have done these publications. You must have done everything. The process started.
It says, let me get that right now.
Yes.
For you to qualify,
yes, sir,
you must be 10 years
as a professor.
For a professor.
Yes, sir.
But it was. I hear that it was lowered to 5 years in the second.
I will come to that.
You will come to that.
It's a process.
Because what he says, my advice here, I had to do a lot of consultation.
Yes, sir. And
my advice here is that there is no provision in the law for the number of years.
Uncle Jimmy, I will come to that.
Okay.
Now, when you place the advert for 10 years, you sent a benchmark.
Yes.
That benchmark says 10 years. People that had 9 years definitely will not qualify. They will not apply to be vice chancellors.
Yes.
Now, somebody did apply 8 years as a professor. The man applied. You screened him.
Didn't the man see the conditions that he was 10 years?
I'm coming to that because I'm going to speak to facts and then the law. You screened him. You passed him. Afterwards, he was one of those persons you recommended to the visitor.
One out of many.
Out of three. You recommended him to the visitor in the first process. And then the petition started flooding in.
Okay, what about the other two? Did they qualify?
No, I'll come to that also, sir.
Everything you're going to come to.
No, let me speak to this fact.
Okay.
I will now come to where the law was breached. Their law provides that in Schedule 1 of the LASU law, says Section 3:1 says you must have election of governing council members that will serve on that committee. Those council members are 3 external members. Then 3 from the Senate to be elected. The 3 from the Senate were duly elected. So they tick the box, excellently done. But the ones from the external members were not elected, but selected by the former pro-chancellor. Once you have done that, you have totally breached the requirement of the law.
At what point was that? Was that before the process started?
That was after the advert. That was before the process fully started. For the first process.
But were you aware of that at that point?
No.
Then you will take part of this liability, Mr. Wahab.
I will take where I'm at fault. I will tell you. I don't have to lie about it.
Yeah, because of the sensitivity, yes. I would have thought that the process would be followed through.
You can't guide the process because they are supposed to be autonomous of the states.
Yes, they could be autonomous, but you can guide them if they're not doing the right thing.
If we had guided them, you come here, Uncle Jimmy, they will come and tell you that we're trying to impose our will on them.
No. If they were breaching the regulations, then they should have been. You see, because look, this situation we are in now is more embarrassing than if you had brought a halt to this early enough.
Uncle Jimmy, if we had brought a halt to it without due process also, they will come and tell the whole world that we had something in mind. We're trying to teleguide the process.
People always tell the whole world, look at what has happened in our country yesterday. The president wants to do his job and everybody's gone gaga without thinking. So there's decisions to be taken. They have to be taken. But go ahead. I'm finding this interesting.
When that requirement was not fulfilled,
yes,
and they went ahead, there's something they report to the governor. The governor made a decision as a visitor under their law, section 14 of LASU laws, provides that if there dispute, his decision is final, and it binds the student, the staff, and everybody on the campus.
His decision
It's final.
He's a visitor.
He's a visitor. That's the governor.
Yes.
So when that decision was made, he had reviewed petitions, and he said, "Look, go and do this process all over. Make sure, one, you stick to the advert you placed in the first time. Two, follow all your guidelines."
But listen, sir. Only one person didn't meet the guidelines. The other two did.
No, only one person didn't meet the guideline as per the advert. One.
Okay.
But the requirement for the process itself was faulty because you did not elect as stipulated under the LASU laws members of council that will serve on that joint committee.
Who would have elected them?
Now, the pro-chancellor was meant to do that election process.
And he didn't?
He didn't at all. And he admitted to that at the panel.
Okay.
And if there's a requirement, a condition precedent to do an act, and you fail to do that condition precedent, whatever you do afterward becomes a nullity. Now, the visitor to the school didn't just cast you out. He reviewed this and he said, go back and do this process. Your advert should be done the way you do it so that I won't be seen as though I'm trying to guide the process, but do the right thing and follow your laws. That gave the former pro-chancellor, the door and the opportunity to do the right thing.
But excuse me, Mr. Wahab,
Yes.
Such a sensitive position like VC,
Yes.
shouldn't that advert have been vetted by the visitor before it goes out?
No.
It's not. But couldn't he have, knowing the sensitivity,
No.
he could have asked for it? He couldn't have.
Uncle Jimmy wouldn't have done that. That's why you have a governing council. And now I'll tell you about the next process, the second process,
Yes.
and the remarkable difference from the first one. Now, they now went back to council.
Who are they now?
Now, the pro-chancellor and the governing council members, fantastic Nigerians there.
Yeah.
They took the adverts and they said, okay, this thing, we have been asked to go and redo it. However, these are facts. We want to reduce the number of years because the statute did not provide for you to have a benchmark to 5.
Okay, so they decided to reduce it to 5 years.
Now, they have the power to do that, but they ought to come back to the visitor who gave the directive and the decision was final that used the last advert. They wrote to me. They had
lowered it to 5 years.
And I followed, but they did not wait to get the approval of the visitor.
But then the visitor could easily, when he knew the process was going on, could have halted the process and said, wait, let me approve.
Uncle Jimmy, they had gone to place the advert for 5.
Before bringing it to you.
They wrote me. They did not wait for the approval of the visitor, and they placed the advert. But the council had no fault in this. And the first,
Okay, was the visitor happy with the 5-year, the new 5-year directive, the new 5-year condition? Was he happy with it?
the visitor as a person, the governor of the state,
Yes.
his own is let there be a level playing field. If that's what you guys wants to do, but let it follow due process. That's what he had always emphasized from the beginning. Give a level playing field to everybody, be fair to everybody, and then let the best person emerge.
Let me ask you for the record.
Yes.
Let me ask you for the
Okay, Uncle
record.
Jimmy.
Is the visitor, or indeed Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or indeed what's the name of this commissioner now? Oh, I've forgotten his name. The commissioner for environment. What's his name?
Oh, Tuji
Bello. Are they in any way interested in their candidate, specifically with Professor Mrs. Bello?
I'll tell you no.
Okay.
And
I just want that. I'm sure you understand why I'm asking, because that has gone viral. That what has gone viral, of course, is that both Asiwaju and the Tunji Bello and Don were interested in Professor Mrs. Bello being appointed the vice chancellor. But did she qualify?
Uncle Jimmy, that's what I'm going to say. Whoever is qualified.
Did she qualify?
Of course. This
Okay.
man has a PhD. She's a professor of so many years.
No, I just want to know if she's qualified. I mean, that's I'd said from the onset, because one of the instruments that were used to disqualify her in public eye is because she's not a Lagosian, and like I said it very clearly, I don't believe the vice chancellor of the laws that set up the university. They don't say that it must be a Lagosian, and even by convention, when it comes to education. I mean, we've had governors who have not been Lagosians before, so I mean, so what the hell? So none of them exerted any pressure at all.
If there will be a pressure, it will come from me. They will talk to me about it.
They might not talk to you. They could talk to the visitor.
No.
Do you know if the visitor was pressured by any of these people?
No, to the best of my knowledge, no.
To the best he didn't tell you that he was under any pressure?
In fact, I asked him like twice. I said, Mr. Governor, do you have any interest? And he said to me, Tokunbo, interest.
Why did you ask him?
Because I heard what you heard. And he said, no, at all. All I want is fairness. This was at the beginning. So why would the same man that wants fairness, equity, justice for everybody, level playing field, now come and truncate the process? Because he wants to do that. He's not cut out that way. I work with him closely. I'm his advisor. And like I said, if they had followed their extant laws, we won't be where we are. And indeed, the Pro-Chancellor, the former Pro-Chancellor, did admit at the panel that, look, benefit of hindsight, they made mistakes. He said it was
part of the mistake also, I must say, to be very fair, also comes from your side, not your side, the government side, who could have corrected these things very early enough so that we wouldn't have had this kind of mess.
Uncle Jimmy.
Because look at your governing council, it's made of reputable people.
The best you can have in the country.
Sorry?
Some of the
It's
best.
made of reputable people. One is the head of a big communications company. You know, this is MD. I mean, so this process has brought some of them, if care is not taken, it make them feel a bit uncomfortable.
Now, the panel report had not indicted any of them. We have to be very careful too.
It hasn't indicted them.
Any of them. What the panel report, the terms of reference was clearly, why are we having this impasse as per the Vice Chancellorship? Have they followed their guidelines? As per the
I mean, look. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
Even if they've not been indicted, there's what you call a stray bullet in these things, and that is why sometimes it's difficult to get reputable people. You know, I was telling you downstairs that it's so difficult for some of us to take up government appointments or assignments because of these things. These laws are there. It's so easy to follow. And to hear that at the level of professors and all this kind of thing is happening is highly embarrassing.
Uncle Jimmy, let me tell you the truth.
The
politics on campuses is worse than the politics you have outside.
Nothing can be worse than the politics. They are not shooting themselves. You people shot 2 dead last Saturday.
Uncle Jimmy, I have had the privilege of interfacing with all the campuses in Lagos. And I can say to you, the politics on campuses, divisiveness, is not what you should
Oh
say.
yes, it's part of our lives. I mean, that doesn't need stating. What I have here, part of my study here, tells me it says that so you've reduced the 10-year condition to 5 years.
They did.
And it says that 3 members of council selected and not elected. It says that the chairman suggested candidates for all committees of council at the very first meeting after inauguration. Is that a fact?
Now, that's a fact, but as per this particular committee,
yes,
the law will not allow you to select. The law provides, because the law says that they are scheduled.
The law says you must elect.
There are two legs to it. The ones from the Senate were duly elected. That was done by Fagbo. He superintended that. It was excellently done. But the one from the external members was not done by the Pro-Chancellor. And you can't put something on nothing. Whatever you do afterwards will not stand. And he did admit it. He said with the benefit of hindsight, he will have done it better, but he doesn't know. That was his first time of meeting them.
You know, I put out a promo for this interview, so I got some questions. A question here says, why did the visitor wait in the exercise for 18 days and in the second exercise for more than 20 days before taking a decision? And that has opened the window for petitions and mischief. It is unprecedented in the history of the university for the visitor to act this way. Do you agree? This is from one of our listeners.
I don't agree, Uncle Jimmy.
You don't agree? Can you explain that?
Yes. Now, they finished the process. The report was sent to me, not to the visitor. The law provides that it will be sent to me. And then I will do a report to the visitor. The moment the report was sent to me, I was not even in the country. The petitions were already in to the visitor. I was not in the country, the first one. And I called the Pro-Chancellor. I said, look, I've received your report. It was sent by DHL to me, sealed. However, these petitions are already waiting for me in Lagos. I did a report to my principal, who is the visitor. And the report was clearly on, 1, you didn't follow the selection process, election process. You selected these people. 2, I asked him specifically, how did you make a man that had less than 10 years that did not meet your condition.
Oh, okay. I have to meet one condition now.
Okay.
That's to pay my bill.
Okay, sir.
I don't joke with this. I'll take a short commercial break and run a commercial, and then when we come back, I'll continue with Mr. Wahab, but then we'll open up our lines, okay? 0700 993 993 993. And the number specifically for females is 01465 7190. So don't go away.
Don't touch that dial. Daily Digest returns in a moment. You've waited so long, and now the doors are wide open for you to join MTN, the yellow family that's got the coverage and reliable data network in Nigeria. Just walk into select MTN stores nationwide, buy a new MTN SIM, and turn it up with mouth-watering airtime and data bonuses on the yellow network. So hurry up and get your SIM today. Visit mtnonline.com/SIM to locate the closest SIM sales stores near you. Everywhere you go, MTN.
You know that feeling when you keep downloading and streaming interesting videos, but your mind keeps whispering, continue, your pockets go here up. But not anymore. When you subscribe to MTN's affordable and reliable monthly data bundles, you will enjoy 10 gigabyte with just 3,000 naira and 20 gigabyte for 5,000 naira only. Plus, a whopping 4 gigabyte free to stream YouTube videos on your reliable data network. Simply dial *131# to select and turn up your affordable data plan on MTN. Terms and conditions apply.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
You don't have to leave home without us again. Listen on the air and online. Just search Nigeria Info FM on the Apple app or Google Play Store and never miss a thing. Your number one station for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Uplifting the nation through information.
Is it appropriate for a policeman to be searching through somebody's phone?
No, it is wrong. The problem that the lecturers have against IPPIS is very simple. Our lecturers, they are teaching in University of Lagos alone. They are teaching in other universities, private, public, state, all kind of universities. Now, this IPPIS will cut off this madness. So that is what they are against. No, they feel like the federal government, the corrupt government. So let them be chopping their own at the federal level, while the university will be chopping their own at the university level, academic level. And it can't continue like that.
Your reliable station for more information around Nigeria. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Welcome back. This is Daily Digest with Jimi, Disu.
Yeah, you're welcome back to Daily Digest with Jimi Disu, brought to you by MTN. And I still have with me Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, who is the SA Education to the governor. Now, he's not in charge of school placement also. I don't want anybody to start calling me after the program. Uncle Jimi, help us, he's your friend. You know him. I don't know. And he doesn't give, do you give contracts?
No.
He doesn't give contracts, no building of school. Intervention supply, pong, concord. Don't come and bother me. All right, but it's been nice talking to him anyway. By the way, you're a lawyer. Okay, and I wonder why they made you SA Education.
It's my passion had always been on human capital.
But passion, shouldn't a specialist in education?
No, there are two legs to education. The Commissioner for Education handles that basic education.
Oh, I
And
see.
she's an educationist.
You handle the higher institutions.
Which has to do with policies.
Okay,
and
okay,
them.
that's fine. But I must say that we had an educationist here about a month ago or thereabout, and she did rate the standard of education pretty high in Lagos.
Thank you very much.
Public education.
Very much.
I don't know whether she was thinking of this. This LASU crisis is a big minus, and we could, given the political shenanigans that also surrounds it, it's not looking good.
Okay.
We need to tell ourselves some home truths on that. Given all the political things that are being said, it should be Lagosian, Tunji Bello's wife, is this, is that. It doesn't look too good. I just wish, one second please, I just wish that the process had been seamless.
We also did wish.
So I hope that all of us will learn from this, that when we're going to face this kind of process next time, then we have to keep our eyes on the ball, so that if there's any infraction or whatever, we can quickly nip it in the bud. So you are going to say something?
Uncle Jimi,
Yes.
the whatever happened in LASU It's not our intention.
No, it's nobody's intention,
Now,
but it could
whatever
have been
happens-
avoided.
Uncle Jimmy, if people had gone wrong and the law allows you to step in at a point, you can't step in without that thing coming to your table.
To your table, yes.
What Disu had done, I just explained to you. Even the second process, I picked up the result at 1 a.m. on that day. I left my place. I drove to go and pick up the result sealed from the registrar.
At 1 a.m.
1 a.m. because we are avoiding it being leaked. And right there and there, I went back home, did my report.
But there was a curfew. How did you pass?
I got a
That's a
permit.
joke now. Of course, you can
No.
pass. You can pass anywhere now. Yes, education.
No, Egbon, I don't even do that. I don't even go out at night.
Nobody goes at that.
So whatever.
I know you are saying this for your wife's hearing. Okay, do I have a caller there? Hello, good morning. Hello. Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. I'm trying to reach the studio on the current program.
Let's take another call, please. Please, when you do call, be ready to talk, okay? We have just a minute allocated to everybody. Make sure you switch off your radio. Make sure you're talking from a quiet background. Say your name and shoot. We have so many callers that are coming on now, okay? So
Yeah,
make up your
as
mind.
I was saying, Uncle Jimmy,
Yes.
Lagos State University has become a global brand. And global brands don't discriminate based on primordial sentiments.
Yes.
Today, Lagos State University is doing a collaboration with Cornell. Cornell is Ivy League in the US. Lagos University is building a world-class business school from this same governor here in the heart of Victoria Island. So
Yes.
we can't now start using primordial sentiment or emotions to wreck the good things that we do.
Now, let me ask you,
Yes.
and I want you to give us an honest answer, or
Yes.
you just say no comment. What kind of pressure are you getting from the top hierarchy, traditional rulers, and so on and so forth, on the fact that the choice must be Lagosian? Are you getting a lot of pressure on that?
Of course, Uncle Jimmy. Of course.
How do you ward it off?
I'll tell them, let the process throw up the best. And I've taken time to explain to our people. LASU is no more a local university. It's the second
Yes.
best in the country. The number one as per state-owned institution.
Oh,
It's a global-
state-owned?
Yeah, it's number one. State-owned.
I was going to say,
Number
Unilag
one
is
state-
standing
no,
on
no,
it.
no.
You went to Ife.
No, I went to Benin.
Oh, you went to Benin?
Unilag is number 3 behind LASU.
Okay, I went to Benin. You went to Benin? Were you at Tokunbo campus?
Of course, Uncle Jimmy.
You see, I went to Benin.
Oh.
But I didn't finish there. I left them and went to Unilag.
You missed too.
It's a story, Miss K, when I spent 2 years there.
Uncle Jimmy, you missed.
Miss K, I showed them.
Lagos boy.
Lagos,
So, Uncle Jimmy, what I'm saying is, if we have become a global brand,
yes.
we must be able to put forward the best of us.
I understand that.
And I'm glad you said that whoever wants to emerge as a VC should be the best among the
No,
best.
I don't.
that's
But
what I tell all our
there's a
people.
lot of agitation, though. I don't know how you're going to get around that with the visitor himself. There's a specific person in the social media. This gentleman who I hear is domiciled in the UK. What's his name? One Prince Balogun.
I don't know about the person.
Are you kidding me?
I don't do social media, Uncle Jimmy. Social media is
You
just
better,
WhatsApp.
let's put a call through to a motor show. You should help us here. This guy is he's not just about, he always talks about Lagos state affairs, and he's been persistent about criticisms about this process. Anyway, let's take a call. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I'm following your program via YouTube. Now, I would like to ask a question based on what my name is Abayemi.
Yes.
I'm a graduate of.
Yeah, what? Hello. Let's pick another call. Hello. Morning.
Hello, Uncle Jimmy. Morning, sir.
Morning. Who's calling?
Ikechuku is my name.
Morning, Ikechuku. How are you?
Yeah, fine. I just want to say one or two things. I hear you through your conversation asking Mr. Wahab why he didn't truncate the process, or why the visitor, did not step in to truncate the whole process. You see, once you are made a custodian of a process, or if you are elected or positioned to be in charge of a process, you are not, naturally, you should follow that process.
To the end.
If Mr. Wahab has to run around every time looking for who is following process and who is not following process, or looking for what process to truncate, then it means that the people who are there initially are not competent.
Yeah, but that,
I'm sure.
from what he's saying now, isn't that a given in his own mind? Let me tell you my view on this, and just hold on to the line so I can have a quick
All right,
discussion
sir.
with you. We know the country that we live in. We know how sensitive this thing is. And therefore, yes, I think you have to keep an eye on the ball. Now, if you've been following me on my programs for about 6-7 years, I say Nigeria is a country where any leader has to micromanage. All kinds of things will come to play. And for such an important... Look at the embarrassment we have now. Look at all what Fagbon has built, the image of the university. If you are not careful, it will come crashing. If you are not careful, people we brought from outside to serve on these committees, will feel inclined to just walk away. So we can't run away also from and I'm glad he said too that he would share part of the liability. We will all learn from this. It's important that we need to keep an eye on these processes. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, I don't expect him to keep an eye on all, but when things like this crop up, then look at the politics, the shenanigans, the dirty politics that's going on. Some on the side of someone on the issue of an indigene, which is very, very, is a strong agitation. You can't run away from it. Some on the issue of a top commissioner who has served for 20 years and his wife also want to contest. She has the right to do so. She's qualified to do so. Therefore, there are all kinds of things you need to keep a very, very good eye. And I believe that once you saw that there was this thing going on, maybe a phone call would have done. We all know the Nigerian factor. Don't you agree with me?
Uncle Jimmy, if we had done that, the story would
have been worse.
Yes.
Okay.
A council is meant to be independent of us.
I know.
Now, we also assume there's a presumption in law that whatever they are doing, they'll do the right thing. Credible men. Professor of so many years. But, like I said, once the foundation is defective, you have to restart the process. It would have been worse for us if the governor had said, oh, I'm doing this, I'm picking this person. The deluge of petitions that was received at this panel, Uncle Jimmy, you will not believe it. Over 40, 25 were treated. And that's why the panel said, go back.
What was the bulk of the what was the due process not followed?
Not followed, and they were attaching documents. And when the pro-chancellor himself came to the panel, he did admit that, he didn't follow that law, he didn't follow the guideline on the basis of exigency. Exigency will not make you cast us into this. However,
is this still the pro-chancellor?
It's been removed as they cancelled. They dissolved the council and removed.
Thankfully, so.
However, the visitor also called each member of council.
Yes.
To inform them, including the chancellor, to inform them of what had happened, the panel report, and why he's adopting it. Typical Nigerian way, they would cherry pick what to adopt and what to implement. Okay. He never did that.
So we have our visitor is not a typical Nigerian.
He's not.
He's not. I'm a typical Nigerian. I don't, just like I don't like anybody telling me that coming late is African. What do we call it? African time? No. All right, let's try this one. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Yes.
From Yaba.
Yes, ma'am.
So my parents are Lagosians and I'm concerned about anything Lagos.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask that, is it possible they could have started the process earlier? Did they wait till too late? Number one.
Yes.
Number two, I hope they will appoint the person by merit and not by favorism and every other thing that happens. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. She's asking if the process wasn't too late and then the authenticity of this new process that we have.
Now, let me reassure you, on the issue of appointment, it will be merit-driven, which is what Mr. Governor and the visitor had always emphasized. Let there be a level playing field for everybody. Everybody. Irrespective of your race, your creed, your sex, or your gender, whatever. You just have a level playing field. That was what trailed Fagbo in the first place. Now, on the first question of maybe they started early or late, I think it was more of, it was started at the right time. However, they were just... Now, if I will use the words of the immediate past pro-chancellor, that in the past, they had never had cause to elect those committee members. But you can't do what is wrong and expect... Repeatedly, and you think it will always come to...
Because what he is saying is if it's conditional. If some of the issues then were legal, then it could be challenged in court.
Yeah, if the visitor had not done what he did, invoking his powers under Section 23 of the LASU laws, setting up a visitation panel, they would have gone to court. and they will have had a valid ground to throw away whoever we have appointed as a VC, because they will ask one single question: did you meet the condition precedent to carry out this action? And if the answer is no, that puts everything done in nullity. Then we're back.
Can you tell me something that would then give me confidence in this new process you have adopted?
Now, what we have in place now is we have dissolved the council based on the recommendation. Mr. Governor had called all the council members, even the immediate past pro-chancellor. Now he's going to set up a new council. He's going to set up a visitation panel to take care of issues that were tensioning up that university.
Why do you want to? Sorry, I just need to ask now. Yes. Why do you want to lump that up with the issue of the why not have a new VC and then do that then?
Now, by their law.
Yes.
By their law, you should section 23, subsection 2 of the LASU laws. You should have a visitation panel every 5 years. The last one they had was done by BRF.
So this is statutory?
It's statutory, sir.
But what kind of coincidence is that?
Now, because when the governor came in, at their last convocation on December 18th last year,
yes,
he did say he's going to set up a visitation panel. We are done for Lagos Poly.
But why don't we just tarry a while, get a vice chancellor, and then, because do you think that the visitation panel will have any effect?
No, it will not. What we want to do is this, sir. We'll give them a governing council. They have acting VC now. Now, the governing council will kickstart a fresh process. Whoever emerges will take it up and we'll announce. The law is very clear. Among the first three, whoever emerges, if the laws are kept to and they follow the due process, will announce the person. The governor has the discretion to choose among that list. However, because the special panel on LASU observed strongly the division on campus after the good work that had been done by Professor Fagbo, and that because previous regimes, government in the state, had failed to set up the decision panel as required by their law.
What is the root of the divisions? Is it the vice chancellorship?
No, it's dated back to when Fagbo was not even the VC. So I read the submission by the panel and the admission by the immediate pro-chancellor when they asked him, why did you disqualify a sitting vice chancellor when he sought a second term in 2015? And he did say, because they don't want him. Now, before that person, LASU had history of they will chase this one out, they will shut down, but Fagbo stabilized it. Stabilizing it because he had his own vision. However, other people too have their own vision that, you are not doing this thing well. There's a faction of this, there's a faction of this. So it happens everywhere. It now depends on the way you handle it as a leader. Yeah. Now, Larry had exited, and it's becoming so apparent. Are we going to gloss over this crack and pretend as though everything is right?
So which would lead to the other now? You'd sort all that out before you now choose a statutory vice chancellor. Before you choose
the timetable in my head, honestly, is I will not gloss over any crack. I read all the reports and I read about 38,000 pages of documents. Yes, sir, Uncle Jimi. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. I believe strongly that there must be a full decision panel from LASU, or else issues will come to haunt whoever becomes a VC in future. That should not also stop the process of getting them a VC. The acting VC has been there since January. Our plan was for him to be there for 45 days. We extended for another 30 days. Now, hopefully, Mr. Governor, using his powers, will give them a governing council. Once the council is in place today or tomorrow, then that process starts to run. Because I can't do it as surrogate council. The acting VC can do it.
So when do you expect a new VC will be appointed?
That timetable should be maybe towards the last quarter of the year. And
so,
I'll tell you why. If they give them, even if we swear in a governing council today, a new council today,
yes,
the council will not start by placing the adverts. What we have done in the interim is we've appointed acting registrar, because the reports did recommend that the substantive registrar should proceed on leave immediately until this process is completed, until the cycle of appointing a substantive VC is completed. We've complied.
So the registrar will be on leave until.
Yes, sir.
Can't you move him to another department?
Well, that would be unfair to him. He's a substantive registrar of the school.
But if he has to go on leave, isn't that an indictment?
He did admitted that, okay, one or two things. He was meant to guide, he's the soul of the council. He admitted that when these things were
Well,
done...
if he can't meet all the requirements, why don't you throw him out?
Now, Uncle Jimmy, this is a statutorily employed person. He admitted, and the council said...
If he has admitted to doing the wrong thing, and you're not going to put him on suspension until this process is through, so it's going to be on vacation. Would it be with pay?
I wouldn't know about the details. But what the panel,
look, listen, Oga. If a decision has to be made, let the visitor make it now and not create another problem for us.
Uncle Jimmy.
If the registrar has been indicted, I don't know him, I don't even know his name, but if he has been indicted and you now say, okay, we will keep him, he'll be on suspension till a vice chancellor, so you're going to put an official at that level on vacation for 6 months with pay from state money? Doing nothing?
Uncle Jimmy.
Being in the Bahamas on holiday?
Uncle Jimmy.
No. Listen.
I understand your position.
Listen. You know, the governance is a rough job.
Very.
And let me be very honest with you. One of the criticisms I have of the governor is his willingness to enforce the law. In this case, I don't know any company that would do that, any multinational, that somebody is, because it's been indicted in a manner. If you now say, okay, you should be on suspension until you have, so what will he be doing?
Uncle Jimmy,
if he can be moved to another department,
that's
so be it.
That's a good suggestion.
If he cannot be moved to another department, put him on compulsory leave. I mean, and let him, you don't have to fire him. You can ask him to resign. There are all kinds of things. But you can't keep a man from now till like December doing nothing.
Uncle Jimmy, I would take. Look, we learn every day. You've given me a very good suggestion now, and I'm going to speak.
You pay. Write your check.
I will do that. I will speak to
if you want me to be your manager,
I will speak to the visitor, and I will speak to the head of service to see how we can redeploy him to this.
Take him back to the ministry. You can let him be more productive.
So he will be productive there until we complete this process.
Because you see, there is no way you are going to bring him back, and he will not create a problem. Because what you have said now is that the confidence in him has been eroded. He cannot be part of the process. If he cannot be part of the process, he cannot now be part of the university when a new vice chancellor comes up. So you need to do the needful. Give him an appointment. Make him the commissioner for special affairs or something.
I don't have the powers to do that.
Tell the visitor to do that. Let me take another phone call. Hello?
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Yes, who's calling?
Samuel is my name from Mushin.
Yes, sir. Please go on.
Are you discussing about education and admission, sir?
No, sir. No, sir.
In the middle.
Relax small. Call back in 10 minutes time. Pick another call for me. Hello.
Uncle Jimmy, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Honorable, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Uncle Jimmy, they say person where wear shoe, I know where they pinch.
Have you?
So that last caller, now where they pinch and 9 Honorable, you just mentioned a word, there's a language you use, which I'm really happy to hear that from you. Due process.
Yes.
Playing level, how did you put that?
Level
playing field.
Good. I'm so happy to hear that from you. But with what happened, I'm sorry to digress a bit. What happened in your primaries the other day? Is there any?
No. He's not here to discuss primary. Let's take the next. You see, I've saved you from that man now. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You see how tough our job can be. Yes. Morning.
Hello.
Yes. Morning.
Morning, sir.
Yes.
My name is Olayinka.
Please go on, sir.
Yes, sir. That inch you just give the honorable commissioner now. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Seriously. How can someone be on suspension for almost 6 months and be paying the salary?
Okay. All right. I have a reaction from somebody here who says that we threw the registrar under the bridge and that he did nothing wrong.
Okay, they are not privy to the facts. The registrar was at the panel. He made admissions.
He admitted.
that they did not. He was meant to guide council. You are the soul of the council. You are the secretary of the council. If the pro-chancellor is making a mistake, you are meant to redirect him back on track.
And he didn't do so.
He didn't do that. And on that.
Well, I mean, my reaction to him really was not so much, whether he did right or wrong. But if the panel is now saying that he should be on compulsory leave till the new VC is appointed, it doesn't make sense to me. It was based on that. And you can say I said he can be redeployed. I never said he should be fired as such.
Thank you very much, Uncle
But if you say that he has admitted, so be it. Right. We might soon have to go. I have just 3 minutes more.
Let me just say this, Uncle Jimmy.
Yes, rounding up very quickly. 1 minute.
We have to speak to the good that this governor has done on education. And I'm glad somebody else came here some weeks back to talk about it. He's done a co-exam from the foundation of our schooling. That's primary school. He's done teacher recruitment and retraining for all our teachers. He's investing so much in our education, our tertiary especially. This last year especially. He's increased all their subventions.
The only thing that worries me also is the admission policy of the Lagos State government to both primary and secondary, in the sense that the Lagos State cannot be a dumping ground for the whole country. They have to hike up, 1 second please. They have to hike up their parameters and do what they can. Now, I'm speaking in parables. Where I'm going, go find out, for example, what goes on in Kaduna State.
Ogun State, yeah, Jimmy.
So you cannot, in the spirit of so-called, people don't understand democracy. They think it's a laissez-faire affair. No, you have to set up parameters. You cannot have a situation where somebody can load a bus from another state and dump them here, and you pick up the bill. So you have to tidy up. It's better for us to have 10,000 or 10,000 well-educated people than 500,000 people that are,
not adding value.
Sure you're not adding value. We got to go, Mr.
Thank you very much, Uncle Jimmy.
It's been nice talking to you. I like this your cap.
Thanks.
Abani. But this is an Ijebu cap.
I'm from Ekwe.
Oh, yeah, okay, no wonder. What's that? You have a tweet?
There is a comment.
A comment?
A question, anyway.
A question, I got to go.
Jimmy, try and answer this. Let him answer this question.
I don't have the time. Look at this.
Okay.
9:52.
Okay.
It will take you 1 minute to read the question and 1 minute for him to answer.
Let us answer it. Let us.
Okay, let's read it so he will take it home and send it by this. I'll read it tomorrow.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy. Tufai is my name.
Yes.
Final year student of LASU. I want to ask the essay that what should we expect in the third process, and everything is in place to make
a very transparent, level playing field for everybody.
But he said
and
that
the best
before.
will emerge.
You see now.
And the best will emerge.
You see now, nothing new. We got to go. Thank you very much, Mr. Tokunbo.
Thank you so much, Uncle Jimmy, for having us and for giving us a fair hearing.
Tokunbo means that you probably have double citizenship. Do you have a plan B?
I don't. This is
you want to say Lagos.
Where
were you born?
In Spain.
In Spain. Baba is also, he has double citizenship.
No.
Are you married?
Of course.
Okay, no, because they start asking me questions now. Uncle Jimmy, this man is from Spain, no?
No, I never took up that citizenship.
Oh, you never took it up?
I have my green P.
I took mine up. I have 2 P's. I took mine up. I have 2 P's. Okay, I got to go. We'll be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to have a kind of people's parliament. We haven't had that for a while, where I'll just come in, sit down, and allow you comment, and we can have a discussion on current affairs. Okay, and on Saturday, all things being equal, I'll be doing a tribute to our own Yeni Kuti at 60. Okay, during the discourse on Saturday. But remember, the discourse is at 8 o'clock and not 9 o'clock. I'll see you tomorrow, God willing. And my regards to the visitor, okay? Give him a good greetings. All right, madam, say I can go. I can leave. I think the techers are coming in any minute from now, so don't touch that dial. Bye.
Thank you.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.